there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where and when you're listening to this. This is Coffee with Kevin, and this is my coffee. Mm, mm. It's a good coffee this morning, and I hope you have yourself a good hot cup of coffee, tea, or whatever it is you like to drink in the morning, or whatever it is you like to put in your drink in the morning. It doesn't matter. I raise the cup to you. Mm. And I'm Kevin Martin of Positive Effects Coaching and Hypnosis. All right. Hey, good morning. We're a little bit late this morning. We had some technical difficulties on some of the channels, had to do so all sorts of things to get us up and running live this morning. So forgive me for the delay if you've been waiting for this. So it is a great morning. Today, the 5th of March already. We're in March. Oh my goodness. Today, the 5th of March, we are looking at, let's see, 1770, a few years back, was what some call the actual beginning of the Revolutionary War. It was a protest in Boston. Good morning, Larry. It was a protest in Boston, not the Tea Party, but it was a protest where the colonists were protesting against taxes and various things from the regime, from the British. And the British colonel sent his soldiers out there. He said, load your bayonets and get out there. And then the colonists started throwing snowballs. It was really funny when I read that. You don't think of that. They were throwing snowballs and other objects. And one of the soldiers got hit and started firing. And before you knew it, all the soldiers started firing. And 5 people were murdered that day. And many people were um, were hurt. They call it the massacre of 1770. And that, what a lot of people say, was the very start of the Revolutionary War. And soon after that, we had the start of the war in Lexington, in Concord, and the rest is history. So yeah, it was a very defining moment that maybe not too many people know about in our history. But another defining moment in our history on this day in 1963, I don't want to say it's more important, but it is important for our social history. The patent for the hula hoop was given today in 1963, and that made a difference for generations, and still today is being seen and played with by kids and seen in theaters for various different things. It's a wonderful, wonderful invention. I know it's impacted me on my growing up. I got a chance to try that, never successfully. Probably more successfully as an adult when I had kids and I had to show my kids that, hey, I like to play with this. Yeah, the hula hoop dropped within seconds, but that's all right. It still had fun. Still had fun. So that's this day in history. Today's quote. Today's quote. Today's quote is the first step towards change is awareness. The second step is acceptance. Nathaniel Brandon had that quote. I'm going to put it up there. The first step towards change is awareness. Now, I wanted to bring this up because I've been having this conversation over the last day in 2 different conversations yesterday. One was a mastermind I was in the morning, and we talked about awareness. We talked about habits and how the first step in changing habits and in changing, or how's this, gaining control from your subconscious, which is in control of your habits and in control of your feelings, is to really be aware. If you want to consciously start to gain control, you got to be aware when these things come up. So we're talking about awareness. And in another meeting I had with one of my clients, we were also talking about awareness. I was talking about awareness as I'm helping my client get over some of the things that they were having problems with. Awareness is always there. It's always a major thing. I love to talk about it to all my clients as the first step. It was my first step for getting rid of some of my triggers, some of my things. Even when you have the techniques, even when you know the kind of things that the people in my business know really well. Yes, Larry, I am safe in Florida from snowballs. Yes, I am. Thank you for that. I've always said this. The people who are trained like me, the people who can change their states like that, if they want to, right? They don't always do it. And why? One of the things is they're not aware that they've gotten into that state and that it's a state that's not serving them, right? You can get all of a sudden triggered and get angry. And when you get angry, you get the adrenaline going and cortisol going, and it feels good. And it feels good. And you don't realize this is not serving you. This is actually going to be detrimental to you to continue to be angry. Same thing with depression. You know, um, Same thing with fear. When fear starts to come in, irrational fear, how's that? When irrational fear starts to come in, before you know it, you're full in it and you can't get out of it. It's like, okay, I don't want to get out of it because if I get out of it, I'm going to be exposed to whatever I'm afraid of. Awareness is the first step that you're in there. And I remember, I when I was younger, I had anger issues. Yeah, I would not get angry at people. I would get angry at myself when things went wrong and I was seeing myself as being stupid. I would start to get angry. I would start to get really, really angry. And my way out of that was starting to be aware. It was that awareness when I started to feel this feeling come on, and I knew where it was going, and because I looked for it, I consciously said, "Okay, I made that decision. I need to track, and I need to be aware when I'm getting angry," and I did. And so after a while, when I felt it coming on, I'd be doing the breathing and any of the other techniques that I have and change it right away. So now, I like to say now I don't get any of those feelings, any of those triggers, but it's not true. Some of the triggers are still there. I'm just aware of them and I get rid of the emotional states like that when I become aware of it. When I become aware of it. And you can too. Anyone can do this. It's just a matter of awareness. Now, like I said, and I always wondered this when I got into the world that I'm in, into the world of hypnosis and neurolinguistic programming and things like that, where we know how to change our states. We know how to become calm and in control. We know how to do that. We don't always. Matter of fact, I've run into some people that know everything that I know and they know how to use it, but they don't. They don't. And it's this thing of the awareness is not there. The awareness is not there. And sometimes the awareness is there, but we choose not to. We choose not to. Now, once in a while, a pity party can be fun for a little while. You want to get into the pity party and feel yourself, 10, 15 minutes is okay. And then let's go. Let's get out of this. Let's figure out what we need to do to move forward. Most people will get into a pity party and they'll stay there for hours, days, if not weeks. You have to be able to become aware. Hey, this is where I am now. This is not good. This is not resourceful. It's not doing me any good. Let's change it. Most people out there are going to be thinking, Kevin, that's easy for you to say, but how do we change it? How do we change it? Well, the first thing is the thing that's been taught for years and years and years. It's taught by it's taught by therapists, especially cognitive behavioral therapists. It's taught by meditation instructors. It's taught by tons of other people. In its breath. In its breath. My friend Larry, who is on here, is actually trained in something called breath work. Breath can be so powerful for a lot of different things, but the thing that I use it for and the thing that I teach it for is simply just to bring your emotions down into calm. So the breath that I use is a belly breath. The breath that I use is a breath that expands the stomach. And it's a slow breath out. There's several things going on here. When you expand the stomach, you're not just that deep breathing by itself just doesn't calm you down. Because if I breathe in the wrong way, if I breathe into the chest, for instance, I may not calm down. I may actually stimulate myself. Breathing into the stomach initiates a couple of different nerves, which then create melatonin and serotonin, and that calms you down. Exhaling as much as possible with like a twice as long exhale as the inhale gets rid of all the carbon dioxide in your system, or as much more carbon dioxide in your system, which actually helps for a very healthier breath and helps in the calming too. So that's the first thing you do. When you become aware things aren't going your way and you're actually you're getting too excited, too anxious, too stressed, the very first thing. And I've been teaching this for so many years. I will tell you 4 or 5 of those breaths and you're feeling different already. Just 4 or 5 of those breaths, nice and slow, not in through the nose gives you more control. Out through the mouth gives you more control. In Hawaii, in Huna, we do a hot breath, which is more, it's very similar, but it's more of an open mouth exhales. It forces the same thing. It forces that 1-to-2 ratio. You still do a belly breath, but you're actually making a noise, and the noise almost sounds like like some sort of a mantra or om or something like that. And there's been a lot of studies done that show that kind of that noise that you can create can actually create some good feelings in the body too. Anyway, awareness. Back to awareness. First step in controlling your life from the triggers, from the behaviors that you may not like in your life. It's just to become aware. Just to become aware. If you got behaviors of overeating, okay, or you just love to eat snacks, you're usually not aware until you're halfway through them. It's like all of a sudden you're eating a chip or you're eating a chocolate and you say, oh crap, I said I wasn't going to do this again. And you're already halfway through them. You become aware that you're going for it, that you're reaching for it beforehand. You have then the ability to control. It's amazing, by the way, that breath can sometimes get rid of the cravings. There are other things you can do to get rid of the cravings, but sometimes that breath does that too. Hey, we've gone 15 minutes in and we're already late. I am going to say this has been Coffee with Kevin, and I enjoyed sharing this information with you. I feel strongly about it, as you can tell, and I want you to help you make a better life for you. This has been Coffee with Kevin. I want you to have a great day. Have a great rest of the week. Matter of fact, as usual, I want to remind you it's in your control to make it a great day if it's not a great day so far. If it's in your control to make it a fantastic week. Take care. Until next week, this has been Coffee with Kevin. You want to learn more about taking control and being more aware? Mm, reach out to me. Comment here. Share my links. Follow me. I would appreciate it. But reach out to me on Facebook or LinkedIn or in the comments and tell me you want me to reach out to you. I will certainly do that. We certainly have a talk. Take care, all.